Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Talladega Super Speedway. It's the halftime special here on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page and the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries. Alongside John Weston, I am Ben Kilcrease, and Mitch Rolo getting the picture that you see to you. We hope whoever you're rooting for in the big game is winning, and if not, maybe they'll come back in the second half. But here we go, John. We're ready to do some racing here in the halftime or during halftime. 15 laps at Talladega, no caution, so the whole thing's going to go green, and you're going to see some bold moves because this is a short shootout.
Absolutely, Ben. I tell you what, this reminds me, I don't know how long you've been sim racing, but back in the Pappy days, they had the Super Speedway series, and that's what this was. It was always a 15 or 20 lap shootout on the Super Speedways, no yellows, and God help you.
There you go. Pace car already headed to pit road. We're ready to do things here in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries. Be sure to share this video with your friends and family. Let them know what you're tuning into during halftime at the Super Bowl. They'll stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. Chad Coleman and Raymond Rittenor. And let's scratch that, John. They're going to wave it off, and they're going to do one more pace lap. So they get us all excited there for nothing.
Emotional stress, Benjamin. I can't take it anymore. No, they're getting these guys a chance to catch their breaths, I'm sure.
Yeah, that they are. That'll give us a good chance, though, to run through the starting lineup. While we have a moment, Chad Cole will lead us to the green flag alongside Raymond Rittenor the second. Bobby Wetzel rolls off third. Fourth is going to be Nick Timms, and then Steve Gottschalk. They're going to round out the top five. Chris Caboo gonna start sixth, and we apologize for the grid. We'll just take that off the screen. It's a little challenging with the way that the server's set up here on iRacing. Caboo starts sixth. Seventh will be let's see, it looks like the number 34 of Sean Boundy to his outside. It'll be Ryan Cole Wilson in that 05. 77 of Thomas O'Leary, the fifth, will roll off ninth, and rounding out the top 10, going to be Michael Keaton in that number 7. And here we go, John. Down the back straightaway. We're taking the green, and we're going racing.
They're doing that dirt track style, man. I guess there's a guy standing back there by the cone with a green flag. I don't know. But here we go. And it looks like the top 4 are going to be single file. Oh, scratch that. The 51 jumps to the outside. That's going to be Nick Timms in the 51. He's got help with Chris Cabot in the 1 car behind him is the 7 car of Michael Batman Keaton. And I'll tell you what, they're not hesitating at all here to get mixing up there, Ben.
That they are not, as they are on the front straightaway, completing officially lap number 1, I do believe, is how we'll mark that down. Nick Timms going to take the lead and drop to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll take the inside line. Here comes that outside line. Caboo and Michael Keaton in the 7 trying to do some work. And boy, that bottom lane got a little squirrely there off turn 2. And they're 3 wide now for the lead. Timms, is he going to give room? No, he cuts right back down in front of that 20. And a snarling pack races to turn 3.
And we've got 3 cars trying to make that third high line come in there. That's the 77 truck of Thomas O'Leary the 4th, the 42 of Davis Comstock, and the 88 of Jason, Mr. Jacoby Excitement, who started somewhere in the back of this thing, believe it or not, and he's working his way up on that high line.
Look at that outside line work. Third groove, and Comstock, I thought he was going to make it 4 wide there in the 42. O'Leary is going to clear the field. He's got time to drop down if he wants to. Comstock, good help there as they'll fall down to the middle groove now. Jacoby going to be stuck up there on the outside line, but Johnny's got a lot of help coming in that third lane. The middle groove now is what. Oh, Jacoby! Wow, that was a bold move there.
That was a bold move. Yeah, I don't think it was the right move, to be honest with you. I think he should have had a little patience there and waited for the 05 and the 4 to catch up to him, but as it sits now down that inside line, because of that huge checkup on the middle there, the inside line has a chance to come back on the inside, and that's the 51 truck of Nick Timms on the inside, followed by Chris Cabot. Now, these 2 guys were on the outside earlier there, Ben, so that's how dynamic this race is right now. Everybody's swapping spots on the track.
Absolutely. 12 laps to go here in the halftime special in the Joe Gibbs Racing Offseason Sim Series. O'Leary edges out ahead, but doesn't pull down on the 51 just quite yet. He's going to keep that lead in the middle lane. Nick Timms on that inside line, going to get a good run off of turn number 2 to the back straightaway. He'll try and pull up side by side with the 77. Meanwhile, in the outside lane, here comes Ryan Cole-Wilson and the 40. He's got help from Edson. The third lane starting to make their way back towards the front.
Yes, they are, and Jacoby jumps up out there. He's going to have himself. And as you stated a minute ago, he's got the the other 2 trucks, the 05 of Ryan Cole-Wilson. That's a young man, an up-and-coming star in this series. The 40 truck of Trey Edson. And I tell you what, I don't know what happened to Jacoby there, but he lost a lot of momentum, falls way back. He's got the 82 pushing him back up there now. So we're going to have a little 3-wide racing here shortly, folks. Stay tuned.
And just as you mentioned that, John, look who also stepped up into the third lane. Didn't work out for him. It was Dave Comstock. Comstock drops to 4th in line on that outside groove. That allows Michael Keaton in the 7 to get up to the inside, inside the top 3 now as he works to the back straightaway. He's 2nd in line on that top lane. Over in turn number 3, man, John, this racing is really getting heated up. We're coming to 10 laps to go here at Talladega Super Speedway, and the bold moves, I don't think they're done just quite yet. Comstock steps up. Whoa, Nick Timms up to the middle. He threw a block on the 77. That's going to lose him the lead. Gaboo going to take it down low. Now O'Leary gets stuck up in the third lane. Timms is down in the sucker hole in the middle.
In the meantime, we had 4 wide back there, about 2 rows back. And that worked itself out, but just for a second there, I thought we were going to see a big crash. But I tell you what, look at that. Oh, Rittenauer jumps to the outside in that 87 truck right up in front of the 51. In the meantime, the high line, the 77 and 20s, it's working its way up. Gatina drops down. I don't know if he's got a problem or he just got loose there, but he drops down, gets back up in line. But look at that outside line, Ben, the 77 truck of Thomas O'Leary, the 4th. He's pushing his way up to the lead.
Oh boy, they are getting wild here at Talladega. 9 laps to go. They know that time is not, they're not gaining any time at all in this race. They're running out of it. If anything, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. The field goes. Chris Gaboo, did he lead that lap? Yes. By John, it didn't even, we have to go to the 10,000ths of a second on our scoring monitor to see who led that lap. Gaboo leads that lap. They're still 3 wide.
What makes me nervous is there's a couple of drivers in there who wiggle a lot. To me, that's a product of a really low steering ratio. So they've got a lot of twitchiness in their car. And that makes me nervous when these guys are 3 and 4 wide, man, like they are.
That it does. And the steering ratio, basically, if you have a lower steering ratio, the steering wheel will turn the front wheels quicker as opposed to a higher steering ratio turning the wheels slower. Nick Timms jumps up to that third lane. He'll see if he can make anything happen up there. O'Leary, though, looks to leave him out to dry, and if he would have done that, it would have been 4 wide for a brief moment down the front straightaway. Here comes the middle groove. Rittenauer in the 87 closing in on Gaboo for the lead. He's got help from Michael Keaton. Keaton has been right there, bridesmaid in that middle lane the whole race.
Yes, he has been. I tell you what, he's loyal to that middle lane. Hasn't really jumped up top, trying to make anything happen up there. He hadn't ducked down to the bottom when there was an opening. In the meantime, behind him though, Tony Monge, that 92, jumps up there in front of Nick Thames in the 51 to that outside line. Going to try and get some momentum going, get some moves making up to the front.
What a show these guys are providing here. The Sim 500 Esports Racing League doing a spectacular job. You can find them at sim500.com. Get joined up. If you want to join racing like this every week, this is the caliber of racing that you'll get to see. Down the front straightaway, still some squirrely moments, but that's what you get in the product of the draft here at Talladega. 3 wide, and here comes Manji, inching his way towards the lead, looking to make it 3 wide for the lead, maybe on the back straightaway.
They're going to need a little bit more help, I think, though, Ben. As I say that, look, he's making some room. It's only 3 trucks up there, basically, but then the Comstock back there jumps up. So you got Comstock trying to work his way up there with the 20 of Chad Cole in that high line to give these guys up top a little bit more help. Although Monchi doesn't look like he needs a whole lot of help there, Ben. He's definitely making some headway up there.
That he is, and doing a pretty fantastic job in that 92. Him and the 51 of Tim's really working together well up in that third lane. Here comes Comstock, though, with help from Chad Coleman into 20. They're closing up to the bumper of the 77. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jacoby step up into the third lane. He's got to do it now, though, if he wants to make it in time. Won't do it. 3 wide now for the lead. Manji challenging Rittenor and Gaboo for the top spot as they work to the back straightaway with 5.5 laps to go.
I'm really impressed with those two on the top side there. The Manji, Tony Manji at 92 and the 51 of Nick Timms. They were really doing that on their own, Ben. They didn't have a whole lot of help behind them. They do now, but for the last lap and a half, they didn't, and they got themselves all the way up there to the front row.
Got to be careful at this moment of the race, John. The tires are heated up. The trucks are a little lighter. The fuels burn off. These things start to get more and more squirrely with every bump on the bumper. 5 laps to go, 3 wide here at Talladega Super Speedway. Who's going to lead this lap at the line? Give it to Rittenor in that middle lane by 13 one-thousandths of a second as they race to turn number 1 and 2, John. A mistake in this pack right now would spell disaster.
Absolutely, Ben. You talk about a multi-car incident, multi-truck incident. Right now, these guys have to be on their game, have to be super focused to make sure they don't bounce off of one another in the wrong way and prevent themselves. So going down into 3, tell you what, it's just dead even on momentum as far as these 3 lines go. It looks like that top line starting to fade back just a little bit, though, but I wouldn't give them much longer before they surge back to the front.
Absolutely. Oh, close call there. Top line's got to check up, and that will kill their momentum. They're going to be out of this race, I do believe, with that check up. 4 laps to go. Just as I say that, Manji, though, stays even with that middle lane. If they can get surged back up pretty quick here, they may have a shot. 4 to go last time by the line. 3.5 laps to go. We're on board with Nick Timms there. Johnny's second in line up in that third lane. Look at the snarling pack in front. Look at the snarling pack on the inside, and he is all over the bumper of Manji. Almost caused the big one.
Yes, he did. I tell you what, I've noticed Manji, though, he is really good at the sim racing version of side drafting. It works very similar to real life side drafting, but not quite as well. You've really got to time it just right. And I've been watching these last few laps. He's really good at it.
Big surge for the bottom lane off turn 4 there, John, while we were focused on Manji side drafting. Gaboo got a good lead through the tri-oval. Thanks a good push by E.J. O'Rourke there on the inside line. But just as we say that, Rittenor with the number 7 of Keaton gets another surge off of turn number 2. And look at the pack. They're starting to stack up here off turn 2. This is really where it gets hairy, where they're bumper to bumper the whole way through. Tailgating at its finest here down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch, coming to 2 laps to go this time by at Talladega Super Speedway.
2 laps to go, and that outside line has really fizzled out. They're down to 2 trucks only right now. That is not a good sign. Although they do have a couple of guys jump up there to help them out, they may not have enough time now. Looks like Manji's going to be hung out to dry. In the meantime, back down there on the inside lines, we got Rittenauer in the middle. We got Chris Gaboo on the inside fighting for that lead. Give it to Rittenauer just by a foot.
Maybe less than a foot as they get the twin sticks at the flag stand. 2 laps to go. The outside lane now formed up again. But Gaboo's got a good run off turn 2. John, does he stay low or does he try and play the blocking game? Looks like he'll stay on that bottom line, but here comes Rittenor. Here comes Manji. 3 wide again for the lead as they race to turn number 3.
These guys love making us announcers look stupid, don't they, Ben? I counted that third row out 1 lap ago, and here they are a lap later duking it out up there in the front for the lead. We're going to have a 3 wide, possibly even 4 wide fight for this race as we come down to the 1 lap to go signal coming up right now, the white flag.
Gaboo got a real big push from O'Rourke, got him out of shape in turn 4. Here comes the outside lane, the third lane. They're going to lead for the first time in this race. Final lap here at Talladega in the halftime special. Manji all the way to the bottom. No. Gaboo gets involved. There's trouble behind. The field is crashing. Manji's out in front. We'll focus on the leaders as the big one has happened on the final lap. Who's going to get back to the finish? Here comes O'Rourke to the outside. He makes the move on Manji. Campbell stays low. He gives a big shot to the 92. They're sideways.
Oh, wow, they saved it, but that's going to give the 92 all the momentum he needs coming through 3 and 4. And as I say that, they're still trying to wreck each other here, Ben. This ain't over with yet.
Here comes the 17 down low. He's got a good boost of momentum. O'Rourke gets sideways again. The 17's below the yellow. I don't know if that's going to be legal or not. Manji comes down, slaps him one time, slaps him twice. And Tony Manji has won the race at Talladega by 4/1000ths of a second. How about that for your halftime show at the Super Bowl?
Folks, if you ain't up yelling and screaming right now, you just need to go get yourself checked out. That was the most exciting finish I think I've seen in one of these races in a while.
Wow, oh wow. Manji with the victory here at Talladega Super Speedway in the halftime show special. A final lap for the ages here in the Joe Gibbs Racing Off-Season Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries. We'll chat with Manji and the rest of the top three in just a quick moment. Don't go anywhere. We've got to catch up with our podium finishers. We'll interview them coming up shortly right here on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page. So here we go at Talladega Super Speedway after a spectacular finish. Last lap mayhem may be an understatement. John Mustin Jr. is caught up with one of those drivers that was a part of all that madness there at the finish.
That's right, Ben. I've caught up with Trey Edson down here. Trey, my man, what a hell of a finish, buddy. Talk to us about your race.
Yeah, it all went by so fast I don't even know how to recap it. I just remember jumping to the third lane because the middle groove kept checking up. And then Manji and whoever was between us, might have been the 51, Stames. Yeah, that's him. We finally got that thing rolling. And coming to the white, I was like, well, I mean, at least the top's got some momentum here. I don't know what happened in the bottom two lanes. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Just got killed in the left side, somehow kept going straight. And I guess with all the jockeying at the front, I was able to stay in the pack. I just kind of stayed latched onto Greg. I just saw purple and black. That's the color of his truck on my screen, so I just kind of followed him. Didn't really know where we were going, or I couldn't see through him. Just kind of kept going straight there. So I don't know how I went from 10th to 3rd, but I'll take it.
I tell you what, I would too, man. That was such an exciting finish. Do you have anybody you want to thank for your run tonight?
Yeah, you guys being a part of this, Joey, Sim 500, and Interstate Batteries, and Joe Gibbs Racing. It was fun to be a part of. I can't wait to do it again.
All right, folks, that's your third place runner, Trey Edson, coming to you. And I tell you what, I'm going to try and make my way down here and catch up with Mr. McKinney there real quick.
So while John works his way down pit road to catch up with the second place finisher, John, I'll give you some stats in your. I know you love my stats. Nobody in the top 3 started inside the top 14. And the driver you're about to interview started dead last.
Welcome to Talladega.
Exactly. So John Mustin is caught up now with our second place finisher, and we'll send it back down to pit road.
Well, Mr. McKinney, I got to say, my friend, I'm glad to be talking to you here, second place finish. But, man, we didn't see you all night. You started in last, and here you are. Dang, you won this thing, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Got caught up in some early crashes tonight and had to go down pit road and with a bunch of damage. So we was glad to get a good finish for the last one.
Well, you have anybody you want to thank for your second place run?
I just thank JGR putting on this. It's fun to come in and run this for them and the halftime show at the Super Bowl. So maybe the fans and everybody will like it.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I enjoyed it, that's for sure. Well, thank you very much for your time there, Mr. McKinney, and congratulations again on your second place run. We're going to throw this over to Ben Gilcrease. He has caught up with the race winner for the Old Schools Graphics and Designs Victory Lane interview.
Thank you very much, John. Tony Manji used up every corner of his Toyota Tundra tonight. Side slapped McKinney there on the final lap through the tri-oval and wins the race by 4/1000ths of a second. Tony, walk us through that race from behind the visor in your truck.
What an amazing race. First of all, I got to thank Boris and everybody at JGR Interstate Batteries for putting these races on for us to come out and have a great time. Man, what a finish. Me and Greg McKinney, we've been racing together for 7 years now, teammates, Dynamic Autosports, and it was really kind of one of those plate races that you didn't know what was going to happen. Everybody was kind of going for broke from the drop of the green flag, and 3 lanes formed up, kind of got to the outside, and that was the ticket. You know, you wanted that momentum around the outside to be able to complete passes and move up to the front, and boy, we had it. We had a great pusher behind us, and man, what an amazing race. How exciting.
Walk us through that final lap. You take the white flag down into turn 1. You get the momentum from the third groove. You swing all the way to the bottom. Did it ever cross your mind to just say, I may need to stay in this third lane? Because if you did that, the race probably would have ended completely different. You might end up junked on the backstretch like half the field.
Well, you know, I thought we were going to end up junked on the backstretch, to be totally honest. A couple of us got together and, you know, kind of had a couple dicey moments down that long backstretch here at Talladega. So, yeah, I was just trying to stay focused and try not to overcorrect if I did get hit or, you know, do anything that would mess everything up, mess up all the momentum, and try to keep the truck as straight as possible and get right back into the pack. And, you know, it somehow worked out to where we got a photo finish out of the deal. And, man, what an exciting night.
That it was for sure. Who do you want to thank for putting you in victory lane here in halftime special?
Oh, I got to thank Joe Gibbs Racing Interstate Batteries. I got to thank my teammate Greg McKinney for racing me clean there, and his company, Best Overhead Doors out of South Carolina. They sponsor me. So a lot of good stuff tonight. Thanks to Joe Gibbs. Thanks you guys for broadcasting tonight. What an awesome, awesome night.
An awesome, awesome night indeed. Tony Mangi sums it up pretty well, John. A spectacular race here for the halftime special in the Joe Gibbs Racing Off-Season Sim Series powered by Interstate Batteries. I can guarantee you, we haven't been able to watch the Super Bowl halftime show, but I guarantee you this was better than anything on CBS right now.
Hands down.
Man, oh man, what a show, John. As we get set to head out of Talladega here tonight, we witnessed one of the best finishes in all of Talladega history here on the on the iRacing simulator. What's your final thoughts, man, from beautiful North Alabama?
I'll tell you what, watching that finish with Tony Mangi, only one thing came to mind, and it was something my grandmother used to say: "I ain't having it. I ain't having it." You know, that's all I could hear when old boy ducked down there, you know, below the yellow line basically, and Mangi's like, no sir, and just kind of slapped him, like you said, you just slapped him a little bit. That's all I heard was my grandma. I ain't having it. I ain't having it.
Man, oh man.
But you said it best, Ben. It was a fantastic race. I don't think we've seen one quite so exciting. 15 laps, and it didn't seem like it went by so fast, but then again, it really did seem like it went by too fast. But I said it at the top of the show, these Sim 500 guys always put on a great show. They are some of the best, if not the best sim racers I've seen in a very long time, and they always treat us to a great show. They make our jobs a lot easier, well, for the most part, and then they do stuff to make us look stupid too. So, you know, a little give and take.
That's all part of the game, though. We thank everybody for tuning in on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page. We hope you enjoy the second half of the game. For John Mushton, Mitch Rollo, all the guys at Sim 500, and everybody behind the scenes at Joe Gibbs Racing, I am Ben Kilcrease saying good night. Good luck to your team in the final half of the game. And remember, when you're out there on the roads, to put that phone down. We'll see you next time right here on the Joe Gibbs Racing Facebook page.